Yo, what is up, Conways? Recently, version 1.3 for Odyssey came out, and just like when any new updates come out, it usually means there's some changes when it comes to speedrunning the game. So far, Odyssey has seen 4 versions of the game, starting with 1.0, the first version of the game, which is home to one of the biggest tricks, First Moon Skip, which gave players access to fight Madame Brutal early. Then came version 1.1, which was basically a day 1 patch that didn't allow you to fight Madame Brutal unless you collected the first moon, thus making the run slower. Then, February of 2018 saw version 1.2, which added Luigi's Balloon World, but patched even more tricks like Sphinx Clip in Sand Kingdom and Turnip Clip in Luncheon Kingdom. Version 1.0 has been the fastest version of Odyssey since release, and it would seem that with every update, more patches would arise and Odyssey runners will continue to power through resetting to the very difficult tricks in 1.0. But that is until now with version 1.3, released on April 25th, 2019, which adds VR support to Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. For Odyssey, this doesn't actually help the speedrun, but what does help is in 1.3, the loads alone are much faster. And for the first time since release, we have a new fastest version of Odyssey to speedrun on. By the way, I will put a video in the description that shows multiple load comparisons. 1.3 has all the same tricks patched from previous version 1.2, but keep in mind that the main tricks used in 1.0, the first version, were only about 40 seconds faster than the current version. But for any percent on 1.3, the loads throughout the roughly an hour-long speedrun are now almost an entire minute faster than the 1.0 loads. So we still gain a little bit of time in 1.3, even with the big time save from the old tricks completely gone. So the new loads are pretty OP. This can be looked at from a few different angles. For me personally, the tricks that you see in 1.0 runs were really cool and definitely added a lot of flavor to the run. I put tons of hours into the 1.0 tricks, and it was the version I used to get the first sub-hour run on. But for the community's sake and making the game more accessible, 1.3 happening is a really great thing, as the players won't have to worry about factory resetting their consoles and owning a specific cartridge to play the fastest version anymore. There are a few less really hard tricks to learn, so it's easy to hop in and understand the run quicker, and everybody can hopefully compete on the same leaderboard. A cool strategy that came about with the release of 1.3 is DSTA, known as Daylight Savings Time Abuse. This trick essentially makes the clock go ahead an hour on Daylight Savings Day. In this case, we set the clock to March 11th, 2018 at a time before 2 AM, just before the hour goes ahead. This makes any seed you plant before the hour turns grow almost instantly. The way it is used in runs is we set the timer before we even start at about 6 minutes before the hour change. This is because by the time top runners get to Sand Kingdom and need the seed to be grown, it's about 6 minutes after the run started. This trick can be confusing for newer players or runners who feel inconsistent with their early game, because if you're too late planting the seed before the hour change, you're going to be waiting 22 minutes for this seed to grow, which at that point your run is dead. So you need to have a good idea of when to get it based on your consistency. If you are new, I would recommend avoiding this trick until you're confident your early game is fast enough to make the time save worth it. This trick saves around 10 seconds with the reroute and when executed properly. If you want to practice just the Sand Kingdom route with this trick, you can set the timer just 1 minute before the hour change, right as you're about to leave Cascade. It will work as if you're in a run, and same goes for if you want to grow any seed in the game right away. So far in the run, we only use this trick in Sand Kingdom, but there is a chance that more of this trick and different routes will be used in the future, as the new loads make warping and entering areas faster, potentially cutting out old movement. This trick has actually been known since quite a long time ago, but no one's thought that it would ever be used in an actual run, so it has gone overlooked for very long, as apparently some versions of the Switch's firmware didn't allow for it to work. For even such a small amount of time taken off the run, Odyssey has barely went under much changes at all since release, and it's exciting to see things that 1.3 brings to keep the game fresh. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to follow my Twitch and my other socials, which will be linked in the description. And make sure to sub to this channel for weekly uploads, and always remember to stay cute, stay lit, stay fresh, and most importantly, stay safe. Bye.